Good morning and welcome to the Pump Exchange. I'm Sam Ferrara. This morning we were going to do our first episode, which, as you know, when I change my pump, we have an exchange. But also, as you know, living with type 1 diabetes, it doesn't always go as planned, and I had to change my pump last night. So today we're going to change my Dexcom. Let's dive into it. All right, so what's the Dexcom? Well, anyone who has type 1 diabetes, I know that the younger folk now all pretty much use a Dexcom, but for old people like me, I'm being told that because I don't have a middle part, I'm old now. We used to prick our fingers every single time we had to eat, every time we went to bed, when we woke up in the morning, you felt a little funny, you were pricking your fingers looked like they had freckles. Now you get this awesome device that lives on your body, and instead of taking from your blood, it actually takes from a level of tissue and fluid, which does give about a 20-minute delay, so be aware of that, but gives you an ongoing monitor of your blood sugar, which is awesome. The best part about it is that it shows you which way you're trending. So those will be your double arrows up or down or left or right. And seeing that trend changes everything, because imagine being, I don't know, 160 and thinking, oh, maybe I'll take some insulin. But if you see 160 with double arrows down, you know you're plummeting and do not take insulin. So those little changes have helped so much in my management of my diabetes. I use an app. You can also use a lot of people have like a little transmitter item. I don't do that because I have an iPhone. So essentially you can see your number right here. I'm 159. I just had breakfast. I'm hoping to get that down a little bit. And essentially, once you put it in, sync it up, you can see it all day. Every once in a while, you'll have a little bit of, can't find meter situation. Those usually resolve quickly. If they don't resolve in 30 minutes, you should probably call Dexcom. So I get my Dexcom delivery. In there comes these little doodads, which I love that they're already pre-done. I don't know, like, when the pump company is going to start doing this where I don't have to do it myself, but thanks, Dexcom. So the way you're going to set it up is you tell your guy that you're no longer using him and you stop the sensor. Poof, sensor stopped. Cool. Then you got to be like, hey sensor, we got a new homie for you. You can either enter your code is on the front here. Either enter it manually, or I like to use the picture. It gives you a nice little success arrow, always fun. Then, even though we've done this 500 times, you always get the lovely little video where it tells you how to do it. I like to use my stomach. I have seen people put this thing all over. I put it in my arm once. I had a dead arm for a week. So not my favorite. I'm not against it. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Didn't work for me. I'm also learning that you need to be kind of cautious when you're putting things in the same place over and over again. It can kind of hurt the way that things read. It can build up like fatty tissue and scar. So be careful and make sure you're rotating. Even if for a week you need a dead arm, it's probably the best thing to do. So our next step here, I have to actually rip out my old site, which is always fun. That's probably the one thing I don't love about the Dexcom system is this tape. I don't know. I get like funny rashes sometimes, or it'll just like rip off. Or the best part is when you get that like nasty sticky goo on your skin and it won't come off no matter how hard you rub. So cute in a bathing suit. Also, taking this thing out is kind of a pain in the ass. I've done a lot of like pulling and tugging. Secret: pull down, pull out. Comes right out. Who knew? Do not throw this piece out. I did it once. Insurance will cover it one time. This piece lasts a lot longer than these guys do. And you'll know when this is done. You'll get an alert on your phone or your monitor, whatever you're using. Don't throw it out. Time to insert. So I've already pre-swabbed my skin knowing we're going to do this, but make sure you clean the area. What I was told by my doctor is imagine that every single pump site or Dexcom is like planting a seed. And if your seed gets pushed into the ground and you have anything on your skin and dirt, infection, bacteria, you're planting those seeds into your body and you could cause infection. So really make sure you're cleaning that area. I know it's annoying and it smells and it dries out your skin. It's better than an infection. You don't want to go to the hospital. Anywho, we take off our little top guy, take off your bottom guy, and then we go in for the kill. I'm sure you guys can see my sweatpants now. We're like realists here with quarantine. I'm not putting on pants for you guys. On the skin, make sure you push down hard. Make sure you're pinching. You want to make sure it doesn't go into like your muscle. Not that that would do anything bad. It would just hurt more, but put it in a flabby space. Feels better. Take off your little doodad up at the top. Push. I like to hold it down for a second or two. Let go. It releases and you toss that bad boy in the trash. Last but not least, you put the thing that you didn't throw out back on. And there you have it. Dexcom changed. Go back in your app, start your sensor, and we wait 2 hours. In that 2-hour time, I do suggest, or at least I like to make sure I'm testing my blood at least once an hour, just because you get so reliant on having the Dexcom and knowing where you're at, you can actually get that a little bit of Dexcom anxiety for those 2 hours while it's charging. It's just nice to know where you're at. Remember what it's like to be back in the old days pricking your fingers, so I feel nostalgic. When I first started using my Dexcom, I noticed that a lot of times this thing would get stuck. Like you'd push the button, it would go in and it wouldn't release, and I'd be sitting there with this machine kind of jammed on my body, running around the house trying to figure out what to do, because as we know, each one of these is expensive and nobody wants to rip one out. Pro tip, and I learned this on Reddit, believe it or not, take this little doodad, there's a little square down here, you can actually shove it in to release. So definitely something worth noting if you ever get it stuck. I've noticed Dexcom has really taken the feedback that they've gotten stuck and fixed it. I haven't had trouble in a long time, but something to note. All right, it's been 2 hours. I can accurately see my blood sugar, and so can my husband. That's what I wanted to talk about next. So along with the Dexcom app, I didn't realize there were all these other apps in the ecosystem. I just found out. There's the Follow app, which my husband uses. I, at one point, was showing my mother, but decided we're past that point. I don't need Gladys calling me at 2 a.m. Your blood sugar is 300. It's enough. So essentially, the Follow app is where anyone you allow to see your blood sugars can actually watch what's happening. Well, actually, let me tell a story. So the first time we actually used the Dexcom, I had an urgent low and the urgent low alarms, but we had never heard the urgent low alarm before, and it was the middle of the night, and my husband gets up, we gotta get the dog, there's a fire, get the dog, and like grabs our dog and runs out the door. To our later laughter, I was having a low blood sugar, but that's the first experience we had with the Dexcom low alarms. We've definitely reset them now so that they're further apart, right? It's only urgent when it's urgent. It's not urgent when you've hit 80. You'll probably be okay. But definitely a funny story. Now with the Follow app, I do every once in a while get that text, hey honey, you're a little low, or hey honey, check your pump. But really good to have, really good for parents. You can also share with your doctors or anyone else you want to share with. I don't know if it works maybe in schools, you'd want the teacher to be able to see it, but always a good thing to have. There's also, just found this out, the Clarity app. The Clarity app actually takes all of those numbers that you look at it in a silo, right? You say, okay, it's this time, I'm this number, I'm gonna eat dinner. This thing takes all of your blood sugars, aggregates them into one place, and actually shows you trends and pulls them out for you. And you can change it from 7 days to a month to a day and really pinpoint the tweaks you need to make your blood sugars better and optimize, be the best you can be. I think these things are awesome. I think it's everything we need, because when you're living with diabetes, you really are taking it one blood sugar at a time. There's only so much you can do. We're only human. So to be able to look back and take a look at those trends and have them pulled forward for you is really an awesome tool. So what would I say to somebody thinking about getting a Dexcom G6? I would say get it. I have a lot of friends who have dabbled with the back and forth. Do I want to wear 2 devices? Is it too much information? Am I too connected? You're not too connected. You should know what your blood sugar is at all time. This is a gift that we've been given, the ability to see what our blood sugar is and where it is trending. We don't have a pancreas, we are our pancreas, and any help we can get is so valuable. I would say take your pride, ball it up, throw it away, do it. Get the Dexcom. It has been a lifesaver. For anyone who already has it, awesome sauce. So thank you everyone for hanging out with me this morning. I just wanted to note that this is just my personal opinion, my personal stories. I'm not paid by Dexcom. I have never used any of the other continuous glucose monitors. I'm sure they're wonderful. I know a lot of type 2 diabetics use the Libre. Love it. This is not to say that there's any that are better or worse, but I think knowing your blood sugar is power. But Dexcom got Nick Jonas. Have an amazing week, and remember that you can diet do it.